Sports Frenzy. Good night, everyone. Welcome to another Sports Frenzy podcast. I'm your host, as per usual, Levon. And tonight, we're here to discuss a few topics. First up, we're going to discuss some track and field. And then later on in the show, we're going to discuss some cricket. But there's an issue going on right now, a burning issue. And I heard a lot of people saying that if they were in Nesta Carter shoes, they just say, yo, hear me, son, just go and about on the business. Me done with the number, retire from check and field. Me don't need to consider in front no panel and waste money to pay a big lawyer fee. So a lot of people are saying that they're just running with. However, from my standpoint, I'm looking at it and I'm saying that there possibly lies a case where Nesta Carter wants to probably be involved in check and field somewhat as a coach or an administrator and all of that. So with that in mind, you probably want to clear his name, or for whatever reason, he just want to be on the good side. And as he pointed out, he took a particular job that was prescribed to him by a doctor, and it was on the performance enhancing this. It was one of the banned substances. But yeah, there's a hearing, and I believe the hearing will take place sometime this month, and will prove his innocence or if he's guilty of having a doping ban. So with that being said, we're going to be joined by Akil and also Albert. So, welcome, gentlemen. How are you doing?
I'm
Everything
alright,
good?
man. We're good.
All right, sounds good. So, the issue at hand is Nesta Carter. We knew that he had a ban before. He got banned before, and that medal was revoked from the Jamaica
Mhm.
sprint team that won the Olympic gold medal in 2008. So, now another case has came up, and Akil, what's your thoughts on that? And do you think that it's something that they probably can skip past knowing that the athlete has already retired, or I think that they're going by protocols? Go ahead.
They're going by protocol because he should be fine. I think once he showed that it was for medical reasons why to take this, and the fact that he didn't, once he can prove that he while he was competing, because I think he had competed this year. I think he ran at some Velocity Fest meet. If he can prove that at the Velocity Fest meet he did not take this drug, then he should be fine. But I think what persons are not is that you know Jadco they have to carry out the formal procedure because he was an athlete and he did competed this year, and actually if it's found out that the condition was not something that arise prior year, it could be a possibility where he was probably the could be that he was taking it while he was competing at the Velocity Fest meets, right?
Okay.
But I think he should be fine. Once him prove everything, once him show the medical exemption and so forth, he should be fine. So I don't think
Okay.
I think they're making more out of the situation.
Okay. We also know joined by Kems. Albert, what's your thought on this whole issue with Nesta Carter? Go ahead, Albert. We're not hearing you. Still not hearing you. Start out the connection and return, Albert. Kim, so this is the second time that could be said that Nesta Carter has been fined. And with that in mind, would you say that this will taint his legacy as a Jamaican? Because remember that we have him up there in terms of one of the top Jamaican athletes, because 9.78 in the top 10 of all time. So in
You
terms of that, and
you have him up there as one of Jamaica
not
best.
necessarily listen, not necessarily me.
I was gonna make that
I
point.
said Jamaicans.
Uh,
Jamaicans have him up there. But
Jamaicans have him up there.
so
with what
I
he
have,
has achieved in his career so far, in,
I have
in,
a
in terms of his relay gold medals and whatever not, would
I
this
have a
taint whatever he has done?
I have a question, right? Didn't Nesta Carter just retire?
Yeah.
Just retired, right? Okay. Um. So as it relates to he getting caught a second time, right? I believe from he got caught the first time, it was bad for him because guess what? He cost Usain a gold medal, right? So, you know, people don't really care about Nesta really, but at the impact it had on the relay team, and you saying about not having 9 gold medals now, but 8, right? But now that he got caught a second time, I'm not going to say it taint his legacy because I don't think he had a legacy, but what I think it does is that it brings a particular spotlight on the world record team still. Because they're saying, probably them just not find it yet, or probably he masked it well. You know, so now that he got caught a second time, I believe it's going to bring a lot of cloud around that world record, around those relay gold medals to say, no, this Nesta Carter is a cheat man. Just like how obviously he's not in the same class as Flojo on the woman's side, but you know with Flojo, anytime I mention Flojo, you can't hear her name without a bag of things behind it, right?
True.
So same thing with Nesta Carter. You'll never hear his name now without boy, this man get caught 2 times, you know. Boy, this man up on the relay world record team, you know, but you know, I feel like say the world record they forgot because he was taking drugs. You understand what I say? So I believe it's always going to be that. So I believe the legacy of the relay team will more be tainted than his legacy because I just don't think he has enough
Good point,
legacy.
John. Because guess what, Kems? And I'm glad that I brought that up, you know. Because it was said when he retired, he said that is a condition that has been plaguing him over time. So as you just pointed out, you know, people probably looking at it and say, so condition over time. Could be a case that he has been treating this whatever injury it is, you know, for whenever how long. So as you said, the questioning of the world record can start coming from all spheres of life. So yeah, I agree with that. Brilliant point, man.
Yes.
But
And then
mhm.
hold on the Akil. Hold on 1 second, Akil.
No problem.
And then remember, you know, him run 9.7 already. No, that is going to be all kind of question because from he ran that 9.7, he got nowhere close to that after that time. We're 9.9, 10 point odd, all of them times there. Mind you, he's a fantastic starter for the relay, and him look like him run 9.7 when he run the relay first leg. But
True.
apart from that 9.7, he has just never returned to that form. And you know, when remember, you know, if he's not a Jamaican and he's American, we will be very critical of such American. We say, she run this time or him run this time and him can't do it again. So I believe Mr. Carter find himself in a world of trouble. It's a good thing that he retires, so whatever ban or fine or whatever might get in really affect him. Probably it will affect him as it relates to if he decide that he want to go to coaching and so, you
Yeah,
know.
that was what I pointed out when I started. I was saying
Yeah.
that I hear a lot of noise saying that if you just run with Jadko and say, yo, just don't want to ban me or long no and ban me. But I'm saying that if you look at most of these past athletes, what they tend to do is that they goes into coaching or some form of administration. So if you want to pursue a career in that, in which, you know, say Nesta Carter, I normally run on the circuit, but the man don't normally make the money of say, not even now Hasafa Paul, and Hasafa Paul used to make money a lot. Man never normally make money like that, right? So obviously you'll probably be thinking about a career in coaching, a career as an administrator. So with that in mind, he has to go through the protocols to actually clear it. Well, a clear name match a clear name. So yeah, with that in mind, he has to just follow procedures.
Yep, and
Yeah,
you
I
know,
agree.
go ahead, Wilbur, go ahead.
Yeah, Kems, I'm glad you came on because you've opened up the discussion to something that I never thought about. I never thought about the world record, how it would
True.
affect the world record, and I never thought about how it would affect the legacy of the other people on the world record. So I was just thinking about him per se, and it's having now been summoned for a second offense. I mean, it doesn't look good. It's the same thing with Marlon Samuels. I mean, he had a first offense, and now he has a second one. It doesn't look good for Nesta, but I'm hoping that some disclosure was made about the medication he's taking because I mean, if that I don't know how it works. If he discloses that he's taking this medication, then why would Jadko then want to summons him for an offense if he discloses it? So I'm hoping it's something that was done out of competition and not in competition, and he can actually be able to clear his name because if not, then it's going to really taint him for life. And as you guys mentioned, if he wants to go into administration
Well,
or coaching, then it's not going to be able to have a job if he's found guilty of this offense. You know, I
True.
know he has other business because I
Well,
think he has a kidney business out there, that dialysis center.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, he has a
okay.
dialysis center.
Smart.
Yep.
But
Yes,
Akim,
so
you're about to chime in. Go ahead.
um, yeah, I was saying that to be fair to Nesta, when he got the doping violation, his first one, it was a case where at that time that party wasn't on the bans list.
And
So it
that
was
is
added to
correct.
the bans list later. And when they did an analysis of it, they found out that this drug was in his sample when they run over his sample. So to be fair to Nesta Carter, I don't think that first one would have hindered him. What I will say though,
But it
concerning
did. It did. It took away his gold medal. It took away a
Come
gold
on,
medal from just him,
Akil,
from him, not
Akil.
just him,
Come
from
on.
no
both.
man, it
That's
no
yeah.
away from his gold medal, but him have a gold medal from 2000. And I noticed that Beijing World
That's what. Come on,
Record, that Beijing
Akil, stop
World
for a
Record was
minute.
broken.
Akil, stop
Aki,
for a second.
Hmm.
So you're telling me that I have 3 gold medals, an Olympic gold medal
Hmm.
at that, and I
Hmm.
get that
Hmm.
removed from my collection. Are you telling me that don't somewhat taint my legacy? Come on, man,
It
Akil.
does, it does, yeah, it does. Stand corrected. It does taint his legacy. However, not as much as people make it out to be.
Akil,
Because
again,
as I said
don't say that,
before,
Akil. Akil,
Yeah.
don't say that. You
okay,
know why? It has impacted 3 other athletes,
At least.
especially the greatest of all time, Usain
okay,
Bolt. Usain Bolt had 9 gold medals. No, it's at 8. That's a
8.
big
Yeah.
deal. That's a
okay.
big deal,
Yeah.
man. Come on, Akil.
Yep.
Well,
Because Bolt was at number one with his 9 gold medals. Now he's I think he's ranked number two in terms of number of medals. Yeah, he was there. So it it
yep,
it it, ta- it didn't just tarnish it tarnished Jamaica. Period.
yep.
Yeah,
And again,
I understand. I mean, it wasn't the substance wasn't on the ban list when he had it, but it's now the cast did their thing and they reversed it and found that this drug they put it on the ban list now and they retested and he came up positive. It's
but
it's sad.
what I,
It shouldn't have
what I want,
happened. He should have won the case, but for whatever
yeah,
reason he lost. Yeah.
that's what I want to ask because I thought I heard something about if it's not KD Knight, I must say PJ. One of them said that they were going to take up the case in their hands.
Mhm.
Whatever was made of that. What happened about that?
Nothing.
he lost
He
his
lost.
appeal
He
to
lost the
us.
case.
He
He
lost his
lost the
appeal.
appeal.
Yeah, he lost it. Yeah, he lost his appeal.
And
Yeah.
he lost on
Hmm.
what basis?
On
Go
what
again.
basis? I
On what
don't. I don't
basis?
remember at what basis he lost it. I
He
don't
just
remember.
he lost the appeal at the Court of Arbitration for Sports.
Yep.
You could
Yep.
basically say that he was hard done if you look at
Yep.
it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it still is going to count as a ban, and he was found guilty of that. So
Exactly.
that's that. And see what
The,
I'm
the,
ask, what I want to figure out though, because the same lawyer that represented him last time out, is the same lawyer that will be representing him again. So I'm just thinking, playing. I don't play devil's advocate. So I won't say devils. I'm playing a advocate right here and saying that if I have a lawyer and they represented me before and I lost the case, why would I retain the services of that said lawyer?
Well, all right. Let me tell you. Let me tell you why they do that. One, because of personal relationships, right? Like
Yes.
if you know about law and them like thing, then trust me, you're not win every case, right? However, since it's a
Mm-hmm.
similar case, I believe whatever mistakes were made in the first case probably can be corrected in the second case. However, now if you're gonna take up a brand new lawyer now, the brand new lawyer they can probably make the same mistakes that were made in the first case and you lose the second case again. So I believe it's more down to personal relationships Nesta had with this lawyer. I think he had this lawyer for like a minute now. So, to drop him and get a new lawyer, would probably not
and make
spell good for him. So I think that's the reason why he decided to hold on to
yeah.
the lawyer.
And a new lawyer may cost more money. So going with your
Yeah,
current
that's
lawyer, yeah,
that's true.
yeah, you may not have to pay so much money. And because you know that I think it cost $100,000 just to file the arbitration, the what they call it now, the appeal, hundred
Yeah,
thousand
man.
US. Yeah,
I-
initially. So
Oh snap!
and then you have to know, all
yep,
right, Levon, we have to know these things, right? We have to know these things. I believe if it was a Usain Bolt in the first trial, him win. You have to
yeah.
know them like you have to know them like thing in the
They would
sport.
have been more lenient. They would have
True.
been more lenient.
Yeah, they would have been
A
more
small
lenient.
fry, yeah, go up as a small fry. You have
Hmm.
no, as the millennials would have call it nowadays. You have no clout. You have no
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
street cred. You go up there and they must say, "Chop, just
Mm-hmm.
run him up."
And Cass take second offenses very, very, very seriously. Yeah, I mean the sports administration,
Yes.
they take second offenses.
Mm-mm.
The same thing with Marlon Samuels. They take it seriously. So
Yeah,
they're
but
gonna say you have a previous conviction.
look at it now, Albert. In Marlon Samuel's case, and this is what I brought up when I started. Someone said that Marlon Samuel still SEC said if must run along and go and put them business. So they must said Nesta should just do the same thing. Do you agree with that?
I think he needs to clear. I mean, if he has the money, the funds, I think he needs to clear his name because it will. If he wants, as we discussed before, if he wants to continue in track and field, coaching or administration wise, then he needs to clear his name. I mean, in Jamaica, you can say to hell with them, and you can have a normal life. If he was in the US,
Mm-hmm.
definitely his life would be over because nobody would employ because it would be on his record.
Yeah,
But in Jamaica, yeah, nobody cares. He can do his thing. So
yeah. The thing with
I
it,
mean, it's up to him. But I would love to see him clear his name. I mean, he doesn't want to go down with two offenses under his belt. You don't want to leave the career. I mean, he's left now, but you don't want to leave and then have this two offenses hanging over his head. It's
exactly
best to
because
clear his name.
I remember doing a different avenue. Like when athletes go back at like sporting events, Olympics, World Champs, and they show you on camera, right? So
Yeah.
if I'm Mr. Carter, I'm sure I'm on camera, they must say, oh, 2012 Olympic 4x1 gold medalist. But then you're gonna hear, and he also failed two drug tests, like you don't want the negative connotation attached to your name. Like you just don't want them things. One time they can say, okay, well, they can explain the one time, but two time it really hard to explain two
Hmm.
offenses. With the Marlon Samuels thing now. I don't know if Sextillion or whatever in perfume cologne name. I don't know if that can. I don't know if that can bring him through. But with Nesta Carter need fee. I believe what Nesta Carter was going to do actually is probably go in a MVP in there, right? He was at MVP.
Yeah.
All right, so the
Yeah.
producer want to chime in on the Nesta Carter issue. Go ahead, producer. Go ahead, producer.
Yeah, just agree basically with everything that you guys said. As somebody that knows Nesta Carter personally from high school days, right? Um, where he is now regarding what he will do after his career is very well because the other day I checked his net worth and he had 4 million US, right?
Four
That's what
million viewers.
yeah, 4 million US. That's what his net worth is
Oh, and,
showing.
his network. His net
His net
worth.
worth, yeah, 4 million US.
Okay.
Regarding the change of the law, as someone that does law, right? He could have as Kem's pointed out, he could have been his family lawyer or personal lawyer, because you know that there are millions of people worldwide that have family lawyers or personal lawyers, right? Where they will continue to retain. Doesn't matter whether or not they lost cases, but also then a lot of time when persons lose cases, right? Then when they are trying to do an appeal, they will actually require a better lawyer or a person that is more permanent. So they will change lawyer if they're doing an appeal, like in this case at the Court of Arbitration for sports, right? So you have person like Carter is one such case where he used a different lawyer to this appeal process at the
It was
Privy Council from the lawyers that were at the Supreme Court level in Jamaica. So you have persons who might change their lawyers depending on the severity of the case or what they are appealing about. But It could also be that he also retains lawyer depending on what he has in his funds available, because the permanent lawyers do cost more, right? So if he cannot afford certain lawyers, then he might just retain what he has currently.
But as I said, his net worth is 4 million US
Yeah,
dollars, so the man have money.
he has money, but what he'll be able to have is that some persons, even though they have money, right, they're probably looking to budget for a long period in the future, so they don't want to overspend on certain, like in this case,
Exactly.
prominent lawyer, where they know that they might not win the case, or they might not really have much benefit of the doubt within that case. So what they do is that they retain the lawyer that they are used to, right, rather than spending extra money on a prominent or one of those Queen's Counsel lawyers.
Yep.
You know
Yes,
that
sir.
VCB, Shelley, I think VCB and Shelley have similar net worth as well. I think Shelley is 4 million as well.
Yes, 4 million.
Or
So I
yeah,
I was actually shocked to see that Nesta was 4 million, but
yeah,
yeah, it is 4 million.
circuit.
A
Yeah,
long time.
it's a lot of money.
What 15-year career they said. So
Yeah,
he has trumped up a good change, man. And as Albert said, he has a business, so
Yeah,
that's
and
good for
apparently
him.
he has businesses as well.
That's
So
good.
yeah,
At least he's actually investing. So after tracks, he
yeah.
say have a life afterwards. So that's good.
but
Because
just to go on that one more thing, if he did not disclose it is to the J trades, right? For that he had certain problems regarding health wise before or to those in water before he run that meet, then he will be found guilty of that.
yeah,
There's
if he didn't disclose about
it's very
what he was
important that
taking.
people disclose that they take certain drugs, especially before they compete in a meet. If he did not disclose that on the form, then he's going to be charged.
All
Mhm.
right, I'll tell. Akila, anything else to say on this topic?
Nothing much. As I said before, once he is declared everything and he can and have the proof of it, then he should be.
Okay. Now we're going to look at another athlete that has made the news recently, Rashid Broadbell. So this is an athlete that we have a lot of time for, and well, some people have a lot of time for him. I don't know if man like him because Kim says a lot of these 110 hurdles men are not going to go anywhere. So Rashid Broadbell is one of those athletes that recently this season he popped up on the scene and was doing well until an injury occurred and fall on the pecking order. But now we have gotten found out that at MVP they weren't paying that much attention to the injury that he actually suffered, and since then his father, who is a main part of his management team, has pulled him from MVP, and it is being said that he'll be going to train with Ronaldo Walcott down in St. Elizabeth. So he'll be
Yeah,
joining up with the camp of with that
Shelley.
Shelley is currently at. So with that in mind, Kems, good move. And what do you think about the MVP situation?
Um, good move. I'm not sure. Right, we have to wait and see how it turned out. But before the injury, is a young man that was running well. Was running well, and he was poised to make the Olympic team.
Yes.
Over who? I don't know, but he was definitely the Olympic team, and injury does strike. But injury is a thing that it happens in sports. All kind of sports it happens, right? But again, it's how you deal with the injury, and if your management team can see that, all right, I'm gonna tell you, you have to look at it two ways, because there's always three sides to the story. Your side, my side, and the truth, right? So them side might say one thing. You ask MVP, they must say a totally different thing. And then there's the truth line in the middle, right? So then we could take sense out of stuff. Let us see MVP as a track goddess, right?
Mm-hmm.
MVP the track. Like I don't think somebody's going to have an injury and they don't pay attention to it. Like it's hard for me to come to terms with that. If you tell me say probably GC Foster, one of them places did that, then I could have said, well, probably. But there are certain things as toxic as MVP can be. I don't believe injury is something that, especially to a prominent athlete who his ceiling is all the way up here, right? not like one of them athletes they were now going away. You actually have a pretty high seat. So I wouldn't really believe that. But if I'm supposed to take that into consideration and say, okay, if I take Rashid Broadbell people's side, then I'll say, all right then, cool. I would definitely move for that as well. Mainly because probably there's a lot of us at MVP and I can't get the individual. You hear a lot of people talk about individual attention at MVP, right? I cannot get that individual attention that I want. So let me go to a smaller camp where should I pick up a similar injury, then this coach will be able to pay me more attention because we have less personnel around, right? So you can look at it from that point. And also remember, this coach will surely go to, Ronald, whatever.
Walcott,
Right?
Walcott.
Him, Walcott, right? Him have a track record of being a pretty good coach, right? And obviously him get Shelly now. When Shelly is your wholesale name right now, when you get Shelly down to levels that she has never been before, no, that is going to attract other people. Oh shoot, well, if you can get Shelly down to this and Shelly at 30, me young and in my prime, I must can go there, and if I work hard as well, then I can do this. So I can't blame the move. If I am unhappy somewhere, whether at a job or with a person, if I'm unhappy and I decide to leave, hey, nobody can tell me don't leave, right? But as this person said, more information needed. Definitely more information is needed. But we're working with what we have now. As it relates to from an MVP standpoint, a lot of if you notice, a lot of persons try to taint MVP name, and it's just not happening. It's just not happening. It's just not working. So, go ahead.
Yeah, I would agree with Ken's, right? I think Ken's mentioned an important point. That I think that is the reason. The point that he mentioned, I think, which is key, is that the MVP did pay attention to him, right? But perhaps he and his father felt that they did not get enough attention, right?
Yep.
It's impossible to give so many athletes at MVP enough
The
attention.
attention what them need.
It's almost impossible because there are so many athletes there. It's actually overcrowded, in my opinion. It's an overcrowded club, right? So it is going to be very impossible to pay attention to everybody, like an Elaine, for example. So going to Ronaldo World Cup is going to have more one-on-one attention in order to deal with the injury. I think that is the main reason. So MVP did pay attention to him, in my opinion, but
hypothetically speaking,
but he did not receive the attention that he wanted along with his father. That's basically. I'm also concerned over Ronaldo World Cup in regards to the fact that Rashid Broadbell, right? He's an hurdler, right? I am not too keen on Ronaldo World Cup with the hurdles. I've not known his.
You don't know him. You don't know what level of coaching one of us are hurdler. So you
no,
can't
but we have not seen it, so we have to have concerns. We only have seen him with sprinters, right? We have not seen. We have seen hurdlers in Jamaica at better earning program. Right, for example, like as a partner, we have seen overseas where Omar McLeod is and Brianna and what's her name? Britannia, right? Britannia Anderson. We have seen those Urgus program excel are the top 2 Urgus program in the world. We have not seen what Ronaldo Walker can do even at the school level, that's ISA level, with hurdlers, because he coaches most school athletes. We have not seen that, and there lies concerns regarding his hurdling prowess.
Most definitely producer, and also we also have to bear in mind that the year when he got injured was an Olympic year, right? And I believe he was told that because he had put in for a medical exemption, because at the time he had the fastest time. He had one of the fastest times, right?
He was the fastest Jamaican at that point in time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
exactly. So now I believe he was also told that he would be fit again for the Olympics. So that also played a role into it. And obviously, going to your first Olympics is always a big thing. And the fact say, he didn't get to go, that's another disappointment. And even when he came back, even after the Olympics, he really didn't look like himself.
He did.
Yeah, because I played 13-3, so
it affected his whole confidence basically regarding himself. Perhaps
just to correct you,
more
just to correct you guys, he wasn't the He wasn't the fastest coming into the championships. Omar was.
No, when
Omar
he
ran the
got
fastest
hurt,
than him, man.
really?
Go again?
No, when he got
Yeah,
hurt, Omar ran. When he got hurt, remember Omar had the world in time of 13:01.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Omar was
yeah,
faster
yeah,
than
yeah.
him.
Before that,
Yeah.
Omar was fast.
earlier in the season, he had the fastest time.
yeah.
Yeah, he had the fastest time at 1 point, but then Omar ran faster than him going into the championships. And then
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
championship ran a faster time. But to correct Ronaldo, he has some very, very good stats hurdlers. He has good stats hurdlers, man. So he may not be prominent at the international level in terms of hurdling, but he has good hurdlers at high school level.
Could you
But
give
Yeah,
us a
but
few
when
of
it
them?
comes on to, pardon me, I don't
Could
remember
you give
names.
us a few
I'm
of
gonna
them?
be
he has
very
the
honest, but
female, I think
Yeah, he had some female hurdlers, but I
they
don't
don't
believe they
win.
won. I don't believe they won a champs. I
no,
don't
they
think
no,
he
they
had any hurdler who
haven't. They
won a
didn't
champs.
win.
Yeah, but they
Okay,
came
but
in like
they were
top three.
placed. They were probably in the top three, but they never won. I don't think they
Yeah,
won
they did not want
any of the
to. And most
events.
of the
Yeah.
females he had. But the thing is that the only concern is that they're better earnest program in Jamaica and also overseas.
Yeah,
But
The thing with Ronaldo
I
Walcott
think
though, that you the thing with
what
Ronaldo Walcott that people are sleeping on as well is that he has good I remember seeing some of Julian Fort's videos and rapport with the athletes is really good. Actually, because he would have been like a new gen coach, a
mhm.
brilliant new gen coach, he would have been able to more, have a good, a better rapport with the athletes. I think it's a good move on Brother's
Rapport
side.
don't win medals
I
though.
think it's a
yeah,
good
report
move
doesn't
on Brother's side, and I could move for Jamaica because if you look at it, all of our top hurdlers are at different camps. So Levy MB, Anzo at UE, Omar overseas, Brock Elite, Deuce Carter there must be Sprintec or somewhere. Dave Thomas in the over college. Larmonious in the overseas college. It's actually very good to Jamaica because it means that different athletes from different camps, it makes it more competitive. So I think it's a good move on his managed team, and I think it's a good move for Jamaican hurdling as well.
it's a good blend.
I
I like idea where you come from regarding it. Like, it's a nice blend. I don't know if it's going to be a good move unless you see him perform. But what I do know is that Walcott is the best upcoming young coach in track and field in Jamaica. That's what
yeah.
I was.
I kind of agree. I don't know if it's the best move. I don't support the move because this man is on the cuffs of stardom. I don't think he's a star yet. He's at the cuffs of stardom, and he's leaving at a critical time. I think he should have allowed Frano to take him to that level, take him to get him a medal, and then he say,
Remember
okay,
that it
I
was a
move
friend
on.
that was actually coaching him doing it.
It was
Bridget was in
Bridget.
charge of Bridget was in charge of the earliest program.
Yeah, Bridget is in charge of the earliest program. So I think he should have, wait, because he was improving. He ran 13:10, surprised his colleagues and the world, and say, yeah, here I am. I
Yeah,
think
and it was said that he was consistently beating even the sprinters in training.
in
Yeah.
training. Yeah.
He was.
He would have worked in the 13 seconds.
So I think he probably got disappointed after the Olympics and see that he wasn't improving after his injury. But injury is a thing that not everybody recovers fast enough, or
And,
fast so that they can get back really
guess
competitive.
what, to Albert? The producer brought up
Mhm.
a good point earlier when he said that could be said. Well, Kems brought it up first, and then the producer. They said that it could be a case where enough attention wasn't given to him, knowing that what's his name? Forgetting the name, the other guy in MVP that they just mentioned.
Levy?
Yeah, Ronald Levy.
Ronald
He was
Levy.
basically the same realm in terms of normally injury prone to. No, Ronald Levy
Mhm.
returned to full fitness, went to the Olympics and medal. So could be a case where he's looking back and say,
Yeah.
guess what? This man I get too much attention. Well, not really say too much, but this man I get more attention than me, and maybe not beat this man all season long. So, as I said, a lot of things could have played a part in this,
Yeah.
but I'll have to say we just have to hope for the best for the athlete because we need as much as them
Yeah,
as
man.
possible. And he's one of the youngsters that is very good
True.
coming.
As
And
France said, the athletes that he's training, they don't like competition in the camp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
I
mean,
heard-
most athletes don't want anybody, no one anybody else to be beating them in training or anything like that. So they want to be the star athletes so they can get all the attention. But it don't normally work
And
out
I-
that way. And for Frano, for MVP camp, it works. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to be a star, that means you have to put in that much more work to get to the level that you can say, yeah, I want to garner more attention than anybody else. Become an Elaine or a Shelley, and that type of stardom, and then you'll get the attention you deserve. Because remember, who mentioned that too, the 400 girl, what's her name?
Jackson.
Not
Candice
Jackson.
McCall?
McPherson.
No, McPherson. She said,
Mm.
remember, she said she was gonna quit a few years ago, and this year was the first time she's gotten so much attention.
Yeah, she get the attention.
So-
She never see
And
way.
she
So
never-
she can't contact me again.
Yeah, I think she just choked. I want to put it out there. She choked.
Big time.
I don't think she was injured in any way. She
Big
choked.
time choke.
Mm,
Yeah.
No, I still have reservations on that. I don't think she choked, but that's fine. We can disagree on that
Akil,
one.
you're a patriotic Jamaican, so I don't expect anything different.
What? So
Wait,
what happened? What happened in her case? I know we're talking about these guys, but briefly, what happened in McPherson's case?
I think at around about the 200-meter mark, she had pull up. Like, not saying that it was a muscle, but she had put it. She showed some signs of discomfort at the 200-meter mark, and it
All right,
And then-
cost her the accept.
Akil, you
Yeah,
want me to
sorry.
just come to that point easily? You know why that
No
happened?
problem.
She decided that she was going to run Shawnee Miller Weebo race,
Right.
and that is what
And
counted
did
for
run
that.
her own race.
She never run her own race because she
Nope.
normally take her time and turn over
But-
through the 100 every 100 meter.
But she decided
That
to
time
go,
she
huh?
decided that she was going to go out hard. When she
Right.
went
Yeah,
at the 30
because-
meter mark, she
She
normally
was. She was.
bust,
But
man.
the thing
Yeah,
about
but
is that gentlemen, but she ran 49.3, not going all out in the semi-final. Why do you think she would
No,
be confident
she was going
enough to try
fast.
to
You know,
push
she
it?
She ran her own race.
she was
She was
like
going fast, but pull that
a
pull.
Rashid McDonald.
But that's what
She
I'm
runs-
saying,
Yeah.
Akil.
Mm.
That's where Albert point would make sense that she choked because you're on 49.3 in
I run
semis,
slower.
and then
Yeah.
you come in the final. The
I
person
run
that
slower.
hold on, not even slower enough. The person that won the bronze medal ran slower than the time you ran in the semis.
Right.
Yeah, that means
In
that
the
you
Can't say no
Yep.
choke.
She choked. She
Okay.
choked big time. She
That's
was
right.
running Shawnee's race.
Slowing down.
She was running
Slowing down.
Shawnee's race, and
Yep.
she felt that she had 48 in her legs, and that's
She
the
herself
problem
said it.
because she said she had 48 in her legs, and she didn't have it.
Yeah.
It just didn't. She started out too fast.
Had she run her own race, she probably would end up with the silver.
No.
The girl run 21
Right.
something
Yeah,
for
no,
the first
no,
200. I think. Should
That
have
money
listen.
can
be
If
that
she had
big.
run her own race, should have gotten a medal. Should have
Yep.
beaten
Yeah, she would have won that medal. Like
Felix.
the bra.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, should have beaten Paulina, because she ran a faster
No.
time than Paulina in the
Paulina
semis.
book her a
in the
couple
semis.
times well on the scene, and Paulina kick her same way. So
Kick her same
I don't
way.
think she
No,
would have
she would not have beaten Paulina.
Okay.
Based on her run, we now know that she would not have beaten Paulina.
I wonder if
Well,
Sherika would have beat her.
Sherry cannot go back to 400 meter. Let's just move on.
Sherika would have definitely gotten a
I
medal.
want her to go back because I
Three
think she can
people
run
would not-
47.
I don't.
No, we're going to wrap up on this soon.
She should have done it in the first,
No.
probably in her first 2 years in the 400, and it didn't happen. I don't think she
Yeah.
can do it now. Yeah.
Okay.
What
Yeah.
about it? Akil, the person is saying that you brought up something that you want to talk about. Now is the time for you to
I
just go
thought-
ahead and bring it across.
I thought the producer was going to address it, but life goes on. Yeah, it was actually a podcast. It's a podcast that is like first athletes are talking. Apparently, this runner, her name is Katisha Miller.
It's a bad red little podcast you're talking about.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
I've never heard of
To
that.
tell you the truth,
So
Akil, it's informative, but I find it very funny.
it's funny, man.
What are they
It's funny,
talking
man.
about?
Like
All
she's
the
talking
hurdlers,
about and
the female hurdlers in US track and field.
Mm.
no, it's not the
See,
hurdlers alone. She's talking about the entire sport. She'll mention like she mentioned a lot of big hitters, but to be honest, what she has, it seems as if she has issues with her mental illness. But what I will say is this: whether or not her the issue, whatever the stuff that she say is true or not, I think what it sheds light on is how broken the sport is, and that as much as you have with every athlete that is successful on the track, there are hundreds of other athletes who the system just handled and mismanaged. Um, so that's what it highlights. But she
Mm-hmm.
she called up some person's name. She called Mr. Bolt name, but she gave him an ultimatum. That's all I can
Okay.
say.
Okay, so she's
Yes,
sick. So she's mentally ill. Okay, we understand. All right.
but it doesn't mean
we're
that
going
what
to call.
he said, what she said about herself is untrue though, because when I did read her, she was actually doing well in reasonably well in college, reasonably well in college.
Mhm.
Because at that time it was 2000 it wasn't in 2011. She was running I think 2 and 11 2 at that time. It's not something to jump about, but at the same time as well, it's a decent time.
Okay.
And based on what she has said, it really looked like the system fit. Although she's very she's a very flamboyant one.
Okay. We're going to call it a wrap
Okay.
on the track and field discussion now because we have to touch on some cricket. And
No
so once we say
problem.
cricket, we have to track for the man who called himself the guru.
Guru of
Albert, I don't know if you want to stay back for the cricketing discussion. Do you want to?
because I don't know nothing about cricket.
All right, then.
I can
We'll
listen.
let
I listening. I listening on yeah.
yeah, man, we'll
Power.
let you go.
All right.
All right, so we're going to be joined by the man who called himself the guru. The best, the man said, yo, you have to reason cricket at a high level to stand on its level. So, talking about none other than Demo back in the building. Welcome, boss, man.
Big up, big up, big up, big up. The panel, big up
Demon.
everybody in it.
All right, so first off, we are going to start with, well, we're basically here to talk about West Indies, but the sticking point that I want to ask about, and I'm going to start with you, Demo, since as you're the guru. A lot of people surrounding West Indies cricket are concerned about the bowling going into the World Cup. They said the bowling is a weak point of this team, and they expect this bowling unit to be carted all around the park because people start coming out against Ravi Rampal and all those guys, saying that them going up against a lot of the Indian team, the Australian team, and all those teams are going to be smashed all over the park. So now is your time to just either rubbish that point or add some clarity to it.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I understand people's concern. I understand that, but if you've been following the cricket, you'd understand. I hear you mention Australia a while ago, like we just beat up Australia 4-1 in a T20 series with the bowlers.
Exactly.
That that's been picked. I don't think Australia will factor any at all in this tournament, by the way. That's just a tidbit. But so
You know
I
what?
mean,
Stick up it before you go on.
mhm.
We're not going to touch on any other teams,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
we're going to have a cricket podcast right before the World Cup. So,
Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. But yeah, so I think the issue is I don't think we have the bowling attack for defend a lot of games. Like like if people are chasing runs, sometimes that might be a problem for us because I know we have Dwayne Bravo as a death bowler and Obed McCoy, but he's struggling with injuries and that shin splint thing. And if he's
Mhm.
out, it's a major gap. You know what I mean? So I don't think we have the bowling like 100% for defend totals that we set. But for me, like we have one of the best bowling attacks in the whole World Cup, because we're going to get 8 overs
Thank you,
of spin
Lehman.
from Fabian Allen and from Hayden Walsh Jr. once they're on it. That's 8 overs. We're going to get another 4 from obviously DJ Bravo himself. That's 12. You know, and then if we use Ravi or O'Shane, obviously they will split it, and then you know, Pollard will fill in, and we brought Chase. So in the UAE conditions, I think Chase will be bowling a lot in the games, and then we're gonna make up the 20 overs easily. I don't think that it's something to worry about, and it might be the weakest part of our game, but our batting is excellent, so that's why it makes the bowling seem weak.
I'm going to touch on the batting later on, but I just want to focus on another point. I'm going to ask Akil about it. Dima mentioned Obed Maka is struggling with the shin splint, and boy, it's just so damning to see the man is suffering that much, because personally for me, he's the best death bowler that West Indies currently have. I have in my head of doing Bravo right now, to be honest. Even though he has learned from the best from doing Bravo, but Obed Maka is the monster down there. But when I look at the West Indies team, we have seen Obed Maka struggling with injury. We have seen Dwayne Bravo struggling with an injury. We also see Andrea Russell not struggling with an injury. So when you factor in those 3 players, those are 3 key players for West Indies, and if West Indies are supposed to go on and win this title, right? So with all these injuries surmounting, would it be a cause of concern for you personally as a West Indies fan?
Not necessarily, because I think we have good substitutes. I think we have like hold on those persons as so I think Holder can come in and replace Obed. Obviously, I would really bank on Holder to bowl depth. I would do is that if Holder comes into my team, I'll probably bowl Pollard at the depth. My thing. That's it. Pollard would if I had Pollard brains. But
Hold on,
that's just
what's
my
the name?
thing.
Akeem Henry? I can tell you're not a guru, but carry on.
How is that? No, but what I'm saying is that Pollard at the depth.
Akil, not this Karen Pollard. Come on, Akil.
Okay. All right.
You were speaking about a different Karen Pollard, but definitely not this one that captains West Indies. This man can't bowl at the death.
All right. But anyways,
No, I understand his point. In the UAE conditions, I understand his point.
Yeah, you can bowl at the death, man. But I wouldn't say this team with the injuries and so forth. I wouldn't say that it's not the strongest bowling lineup, but I think it's a bowling lineup that could suffice. I think it's a bowling lineup we could still use to win. That's just my take.
Okay, but you touched on the batting just now, right? But when I look at Nicholas Pooran has been struggling in the IPL Demo. So again, that is another key player because he's the vice captain of the team. Now with him struggling, and I see they had him in the team of the tournament for CPL. Personally, for me, that don't make any sense because the man had like 2 good innings. Otherwise, from that, he was a failure. So Nicholas Pooran is not on any starter form. From the Australian series, he wasn't in any starter form. So again, cause of concern or not?
Listen, before the IPL league cut short and stuff, Pooran had made like 4 ducks consecutively. So you know he was struggling from back then and stuff. But the thing is with Pooran, I mean, you know him can produce 1 or 2 good innings throughout a tournament. And if he does find form, I don't think his form can continue to just go down and down and down. He can only get better. And the fact that he's playing in the IPL now only bodes well for the West Indies because he's getting used to the conditions, getting used to playing there. And even though he's not making a lot of runs, I think he got a 20 at the other day. And you him wicket when them do want 4 for win from whatever 5 balls and they may not lose. And he got out. And I mean, you know Pooran has the quality. And for me, I mean, he's one of the guys in the team that they can't drop. You have probably about 6 of them in the team that are undroppable, and he's one of them. So, I mean, I don't think it's cause for concern. I think he'll get over it, and he'll be a big factor coming for West Indies in the World Cup. I mean, apart from his wicket keeping, obviously, he's going to be needed with the batting at 4.
So
Can I
now,
add some
go ahead, man.
just to touch on the batting? My big concern with the batting is the consistency. That's my big one with the batting. Like, my things that with West Indies, and we saw it with Sri Lanka, with South Africa, we saw that improved significantly against Australia. My thing with West Indies is that, like, them have this thing where they will get off to a good start and then they will just suffer a massive batting collapse, and them have to depend on the lower order like Fabian Allen and them man that is true. So that is my biggest concern. When this, the good thing is that most of our opposition, most of the opposition that will be in the group that we're in, are team heavy teams, and I think do better against team heavy teams versus heavy teams.
Okay. And here's
That's just my
Michelle
issue
saying
with the
that.
Western's batting.
Here's Michelle saying that poor on his quality, form is temporary, so I would pick him. No, Dimo, older since he has gotten game for Sunrisers, who have been the worst team in IPL. He has been bowling well for them, and every now and then he pops up with a good innings. But is that enough for you to draft him in the team and probably put one of the guys that has been struggling badly with injury aside?
Nah. Like I said, I think we had this conversation with Holder before, and a lot of people are going to use his IPL form right now for say bring him back and stuff. But for me, Holder play himself out of the team, and he's just overworked. And with the series coming up against Sri Lanka, the Test series, I think we're going to need him at his best to play in that. And I just listen. We have too much of what Jason Holder do. Like, he's not going to come there and be
Agreed.
a opening bowler. He's not going to come there and be a death bowler because he's horrible at the death. And for the, I mean, if you can come and do a thing, you know what I mean? But we have too much. And I just named to you where we can get 20 overs. And I didn't mention Andre Russell because of the injury. And I didn't mention O'Shane Thomas in that, right? So we can find 20 overs without even GS Holder in the team already, right? And so we might go back like Fabian Bravo about a number you are 9, you know, you know what I mean. So I think GS Holder played himself out of form and out of the team. And I mean, if somebody get hurt and can't make it, then sure.
I wouldn't even if somebody got hurt. Like, quick question, just to be sure, is Cottrell in the reserves?
Yeah.
I would pick
Cottrell is
Cottrell
there
over him.
and Akil Hussein. I mean, I feel hard done for Hussein. I thought he would have made.
Yeah, I feel hard done for him as well.
That man can bowl. Either that man can bowl as an opening bowler, right in the middle where a team probably get away and decide say, here what? I want to pull back on the run rate. So that man can bowl anywhere in that team. So
yeah, he would be my choice.
I kind of felt bad. And personally for me, I like Aiden Walsh. Mind you, I like him. But Akil Hussein has bowled better over the past 6 months than Aiden Walsh.
Yeah,
so
but
I would have
more
CPL.
Yeah, in CPL, Akil Hussein outplayed him totally.
Yeah, but just before that against Australia, Aiden Walsh was on fire. So if
yeah,
we're doing international,
I understand why, man. That's what I'm saying. Personally, for me, I would have both of them, but then we know that they're not going to play all 3 of them at once. So that's the issue.
Yeah, and remember that they have Fabian Allen to do that too. So
but Fabian Allen with left arm spin as well. But
so,
as I said before, I would pick Cottrell if I can play the tournament. I would pick Sheldon Cottrell over Jason Holder. Because Cottrell, one thing Cottrell guarantees me is wickets at the top of the innings.
Yeah, and he's already over there bowling in the nets in the IPL
Exactly.
too, so he's getting.
But you know that personally for me though, I'd probably bring in someone else if Obed Mackay can't possibly play. I'm not sure if Dimo will agree, but he's a player that Dimo actually like as well.
Who?
talking about the man that has been called up by Chennai Super Kings, Dominic Drakes. I don't know why, but I just like this fella. He offers basically the same thing that Obed Makai offer in terms of left arm, and he can. I've seen Bravo taking him under his wings as well, just like he has done with Obed Makai. So I believe he would be a good replacement for Obed Makai.
I think you kind of stretch it same off for the same. Like Obed Makai is a magician at what he does, boss. You kind of stretch
No, man. When I said the same in terms of left arm, I'm not talking about the magic that Makai can give you.
Yeah, but I get it. I mean, yeah. I mean, he did well in the CPL. I can use him CPL form. Obviously, he can bat as well. I mean, I wouldn't mind it. But for me, we'll see another be the choice if Makai can make it.
Well, I said
Okay.
because of all the UAE pitch test.
Yeah. I think the spinners will come in really handy for us. And it's not like Akil Hussein can bat, and he's an excellent fielder. Like for me, the tournament just I think we'll do well with great fielders. I think we'll just stand out with the feeling.
Exactly.
And if you really check across the board, you know that West Indies as arguably the best fielders in world cricket right now. Because I tell a man now, otherwise some Jadeja, because I don't know, say Jadeja is like GOAT level. What, you see that Fabian Allen fellow? Fabian Allen is some monster in the field, man.
Well, I have Fabian Allen as the best in the world.
Yeah, personally for me, Fabian Allen is ahead of Jadeja right now because Jadeja kind of lose the touch. I don't really see the magic that he normally did before because that man could stay from on the long on boundary and just pick out the middle stump. But since then, that's fallen off a bit. But if you really look at it though, man, there's a team that can win the tournament. All they have to do is just find a level of consistency, and that is what tend to plague us a lot. As Akil mentioned, when you look at the top order, if 2 or 3 men at the top order tend to not play good, it's like the entire team just open up, and and generally, it's just the back end or the lower order that tend to have to rescue the team. I don't want my team to end up in this sort of situation. So in order for them to combat that, I think the batsman at the top needs to take some more responsibility. Since as most of them are senior men in these teams, so I think these guys need to take more responsibility. Akil, what say you?
And yeah, I agree, and that's why I'm happy that Pollard is the captain, because I don't know what Pollard does, but he knows how to get performances with his players. And trust me, it would not surprise me if in this tournament unbeaten. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at the end of the tournament. No, man, it wouldn't surprise me if they end the tournament unbeaten, because Pollard, like the thing with Pollard is that Pollard, like, he just know how to encourage his team to fight and win no matter what. So if one batsman don't produce, yeah, man, even if one batsman don't produce in this innings, him somehow know other batsmen to bat on, or him just come out there and do it himself. Just, man, I would not be surprised if the West Indies go unbeaten.
All right, Dimo, bold statement by Akil. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I think team selection is going to be very vital in terms of how well we do in this World Cup. Because between Hetmeyer, Kiel, and Chase, I don't see all three of them playing at once. They're going to be rotating. And so Chase probably are going to be the man where Levon just says somebody needs to take responsibility. Like Ruston Chase, I could probably try to do that Marlon Samuels role, try for bat through innings and steady the ship or stuff like that. And everybody bat around him. But I don't think he's going to play every game, because them obviously go and get Hetmeyer in and them want to get Gale in. So I don't know if we're going to be unbeaten, because I see that we're going to be rotating. And so maybe one of the games, while rotating, everything will click. You know what I mean? So I think rotation might be an issue, but we just have to find a team. Like once we pass the stages of the group and move further on, we need to find a consistent team to go through. And I mean, I'm saying this now, but that never really happened when we win the World Cup. Because remember, like, people, he just a flying. Remember, Lendl Simmons just ran off of the plane one World Cup game. and come against India and come make a 80 yard. He wasn't even
After the
there.
meet.
And just come make a 80 yard
Yep.
and stuff. And
Those
the
are
next,
things they call goat level, man.
yeah. So I mean, I'm saying that no, but I want us to have a consistent 11, and then once somebody not injured or something, I feel like we're favorites.
But we
Yeah, I agree. But
almost went unbeaten. We almost went unbeaten in the last World Cup. It's Afghanistan we lose to, went unbeaten, you know. We
Yeah, but
everybody
almost is not
and
unbeaten.
understand that, but this team, well, in my opinion, this team is a better team than that team in 2016. And we
really,
have a better captain, in my opinion. Yeah, I think so.
Dimo, would you agree with
As I
that
said before,
statement?
it's going to happen, but
I
I wouldn't be surprised if it did.
I agree. I think this team is better.
But what we should take into consideration is that the guys from that team in the last World Cup, they have gotten older. So looking at that, looking at it from that standpoint, you could say that the level that, for instance, Chris Gayle was at back then is not at that level anymore, and Chris Gayle was an integral part of that team. So going by that,
Yeah. And I mean, they had obviously Badri. Narayan didn't play in that 2016 World Cup and we won without him. So if you take Narayan out,
Yeah.
like you take a big chunk out of the West Indies at that time. And with the emergence of Hayden Walsh here, and I think our feeling has improved massively. I think that this team is better.
okay. So here's Stephen Lang saying that, but Ola is playing in the UAE and taking wickets. Why play Cottrell over him? Answer that, Dimo.
I mean, I wasn't playing Cottrell. I was playing Akil Hussein. I think Akil there play Cottrell. But
You want me to answer?
Yeah,
yeah,
man, I can go
are
ahead.
you a defend Cottrell? But yeah, we can.
No problem. Why I defend Cottrell? Because for me, Cottrell gives me wickets at the top of the order. Gives me wickets at the top of the order, and he has been consistently doing it over the years. I would be
Yeah.
replacing a bowler,
Go ahead.
for a bowler. That's another thing as well, because it's not that you'll be replacing Jason Holder for Obed McCoy, which would be an all-rounder for a pure bowler. But for me, that would just upset the balance of the team. So that's why I would have gone with a swap and play Cottrell in the team. The thing about early wickets is that early allows the team to create pressure, especially when you have like bowlers like and him again and Fabian Allen. So for me, I that's why I want Cottrell in my team. And then Cottrell feeling is very good. He's one of the best fielders. And I also wanted to note that Hayden Walsh Jr. He is probably Fabian Allen in terms of fielding.
Yeah. But the thing is, the thing never go too well for Cottrell playing over this the IPL. So it's like, them even have to end the cut him IPL contract short because he may get a lot of licks. So there's no, I think he got like 6 wickets in the games in play, and he was getting slapped up all over the place playing over there. So I don't think
I'm scared.
I think that's probably going against him, and then him follow up it with the CPL that he wasn't even that great in the CPL either, and he got hurt. So I think a lot is going against Sheldon. But I understand in terms of getting wickets at the top. But for me, I just accuracy it. That's it.
True.
Okay.
But added factor to that, Demo, as you mentioned about Cottrell. Remember that it was in IPL, the man bowled the first 2 over for like 10 runs, and when it was the end of his spell, the man ended up conceding over 50 other runs in 4 over. That can't be good. I think it was that. What was that guy name, man? Tiwatia. Tiwatia belted him for 4 sixes straight, and I was like, look how this man make Tiwatia, who isn't a batsman, look like a batsman.
Boss, I have a lot of time for Hulk, because we play against Hulk in high school and it's a link. But boy, I cry eye water with that. Like, I literally cry eye water. But don't worry, I'll be getting a signed jersey from him soon. So we don't say nothing. But yeah,
Yeah,
the
man.
team, I think our team is good, man. I think we'll be
man.
favorites, we'll win. And anybody who don't rally around the West Indies right now, I don't know what they must see. I know you're going to do the podcast about other teams and stuff, but the team against England is going to be vital.
It's
True.
going to be vital.
Because you have to start the tournament on a good footing. So that England game will be vital. That will set the tone for the rest of the World Cup. And if you look at it, I have England as one of the strongest team going in. But England as a captain, that man seems to combat to save his life right now. This man does make a big hit and then next ball, gone. So he's out of sorts right now as well. So that could be a good thing for us cities and also a bad thing. Reason being, you know that after you've been on a bad patch, at some point in time you're going to end it. Hopefully
Yeah.
it's not a
Yeah, so
still
at the same thing like Puran. Like I don't think his song will continue. Once you have quality boss, like I see somebody said it in the comments, form is temporary but class is permanent. I don't expect Morgan to continue like that. And it probably coming out the World Cup and that's not going to be a good thing for us.
Hopefully not the first game.
Yeah. But definitely Gail will be playing in that game.
Just to add, for me, you hear me?
Yeah, man.
For me, actually, my for the tournament is New Zealand. I know that they played us against Bangladesh and they weren't at their best, but New Zealand to me,
on the Bangladeshis.
New Zealand for me, balanced team.
I don't think
batting wise was.
That is the issue, though. Because let me ask you a question, Akil. When I look at New Zealand, can you give me a spinner that is currently performing for New Zealand?
I don't say Santa time.
I thought so.
I'm not going to say Santa. Yeah.
Mitchell Santa has been on the perfect. No. Hold on, Akil. Let's find this out. Mitchell Santa has hardly been playing for New Zealand recently, so you can't have him in that mix. And that man's a run scale right now, so he's out. So
I guess he's banking on the
Saudi. He's Saudi, but
oh boy, run scared.
I guess he's banking on the quality seamers that they have still. I mean, they have the quality for ball on any pitch, I guess. So.
No, man, Demo, let's be fair right now. You have seen Trent Bolt in the current IPL. Have you been totally impressed by him, or you think that?
No. Saudi either.
Exactly. That's the point that I'm coming across. They haven't done that in IPL.
What about Lucky Ferguson and when him again and the guy that bowled funny? I don't remember his name.
Wagner?
And I'm take a text man.
Jameson.
I remember. Yeah, Jameson. They have Lucky Ferguson and Jameson, and they have.
I think Jameson will do it. Jameson are one of them standouts for you.
He is.
Yeah, but I don't think New Zealand.
For me personally, right now, New Zealand best bowler is actually Kyle Jameson. I have him ahead of Southey and Bolt right now.
In T20s.
Even in Test, remember in Test cricket recently, he has been the one that has been taking the wickets on a consistent basis.
Remember that and Saudi.
Let's check his strike rate, man. Remember the man has over 6-5 wickets all in around 6 Test matches,
That's fine, including against West Indies too. But
you have to say West Indies are top team.
No man, Trent Bolt and Saudi are quality with the red ball.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
agreed.
But I mean, go ahead, Akil.
No, I was saying agree, but then the New Zealand's batting as well. They look at Kane Williamson. I think the top 3 batsmen really good. I think Nicholas. Monroe and Conway.
That is a man that is very good in T20.
Glenn
Phillips.
Phillips.
Well in the T10, but you see that Devon Conway guy. What I like about him is he's an all-format player. This man knows to adapt to whatever situation a game is in. I personally don't like.
I think we're not talking about other sides today. Well,
no man, Akil just brought it up. So I'm just going to
Sorry.
just run along with it.
No, but I think a
Yeah,
lot of
but
people are sleeping on
Yeah, I agree with you, Dima. I think we should save this down the line.
yeah. A lot of
yeah,
people are sleeping on the West Indies. I don't think they should. I think we'll be. But
yeah.
I think our surprise package will be Ravi Rampal in those conditions, and people now go agree, but you will see it. You heard it here first from the guru.
We said Rafi Rampal with those slower deliveries.
The surprise package, boss.
Yeah, and that's true. A lot of
Well,
people has written him off.
imagine him and calling the bowling. Whoa, how happy they.
Boss man, Cutchell is not going to play. So stop dreaming and Cutchell play.
I mean, no, I'm just saying, imagine. If I said that it was going to happen, I just said, imagine.
Yeah, that's
It
true.
would have
But
been.
we just have to hope for the best and hope that all these guys can retain their fitness because that has been a key issue over the past year or so. So hope that man like Russell, Obed McCoy, and Dwayne Bravo will be in good stead whenever the World Cup begin. And we're going to have a podcast at some point in time previewing the World Cup because we have to get through all these teams. So we're going to have a marathon podcast about it. And I'm sure that the guru will be here because we can't have a cricketing discussion without the guru himself. And yes, Albert saying that one thing with Demo, he is a consummate optimist when it comes on to Jamaican sports. Jamaica is always winning in his book.
Oh, hold on. No, but what need would I have to doubt the West Indies right now as two-time champions of the T20 World Cup and the defending champions of the T20 World Cup and one of the best
Exactly.
World Cup squads going? Like, why would I not be optimistic right now? I don't understand.
Exactly.
People want me to just come and cuss and say, "Oh, West Indies squad no good. Him should have picked this." No, boss. I rally around the team, and I have logics to back it up. So, and not just some wild optimism.
True. We're going to wrap up though, because as I said, I don't really want to touch on the other teams. And if we're going to join the discussion, we are going to end up touching on the other teams. So
True.
before I go, as I always do, Akil, go ahead
Mhm.
and have your minute off and say whatever you want to say. Anything. You don't have to be sports related. Just go ahead, it's your minute.
No problem. So yeah, so I'm predicting Jamaica to beat USA 2-1. I'm predicting us to beat USA 2-1. Um, regarding track and field, I'm just, I'm just in love with track and field. I'm happy to be here. Um, I'm just happy to be here talking about track and field. I think just, Jamaica has some serious talent. And next year, I think we're going to have our most powerful track and field team going to our championship.
Okay. Demo, your minute.
Yeah, guys. So just continue to support the movement. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. And follow the journey. World Cup coming up, T20 World Cup, Jamaica qualifiers. We have a lot of sports coming. The guys with them track and field, Kems with the NFL, basketball. There's like loads of sports coming up. So continue
I'll
to
tell
stick
you,
with
man,
the
so
team.
normally you don't see us on a Saturday, but going forward, every Saturday we are here. And
Yeah.
guess what is coming soon as well? We are going to have a call-in show very soon on Saturdays where as a Premier League match finish for the Saturday,
Yeah.
we're going to have people calling and just talk about their team. So
Yeah, man.
look
Big
forward to that
moves. Big
coming.
moves. So it's like my dip on the coach. I mean, like every day I see sports frenzy. I go live. Oh, what happened? That never used to happen. So big moves coming. Lots of sports to discuss. So get involved. Smash the like button. And obviously continue to support Levon and Josh. They're working hard for this. And they're putting in a lot of work. So just give them the subscription that they need and the likes that they need to just make the work grow. So we go.
Yeah, man. And as you commented yesterday, it was a monumental day because we hit over the 400 mark. We're currently at 441 the last time I checked.
Yeah, I saw 44.
Okay. We have to give a huge shout out to Lataya because she has been one of the main person behind that movement. She actually got a lot of subscribers for us yesterday. So
Big up.
Lataya, even though it's not the best of time for you because someone recently passed for her.
Oh.
So condolences to you and
Yeah,
your family.
condolences.
Hope that you will be all right very soon. But big up yourself, Lataya. Um, as I
So
always say to you,
we no waiting for my last 10 seconds. You just cut my last 10 seconds. I just want to big up my team, the Blade Warriors. We are champions of the New York Cricket League in the 30 overs and the 40 overs. So my side big collect 2 trophy and the T20 left for collect. I won't have any part to play obviously because of a broken thumb, but my side big.
yeah, man, me say that. Me say after the man then done go win the title, you know. Me say this man are jumping with 2 trophy. Me I said this man never play a part and watch the man. But yeah, man, you have to big up the goal, you know. You have to big up the goal. Shefton, you have to link us with the sandals sponsorship, you know, because when I see pop up it, so you have to get some of those sponsors from overseas to come on board very soon, man. Because we want movement to reach some heights that we ourselves don't think it can reach, you know. So we're not think limits right now. So just get the sponsors on board, Shefton. We'll deal with it. I mean, even I call it Shefton. Pine me, I call it. As I say, we mustn't call it Shefton, we must call it Pine. So Pine, get the sponsors on board. As I always say to you guys, a lot of sporting action going on. NBA coming up very soon. Be my boy Ja Morant looking good. GSW looking good as well. Jordan Poole seems to be like he's going to be a monster this season, learning from the best. SC30, so good things to look forward to as a Warriors fan. More Lakers around here. But otherwise than that, guys, let's continue watching some sports. Support Sports Frenzy until tomorrow. Stay safe. Peace out. Take care of yourself.